All right, let's talk about the Brain Science Reading Assessment. You know the one. If you've ever looked at it and felt like it's a bit of a puzzle, well, you are definitely not alone. But today, we're going to change that. We're going to break down the 4 key skills you need to totally nail this thing.
And that's the big secret, right? This test isn't about memorizing facts. Nope, it's all about how you think. It's testing your ability to pull apart arguments, catch the author's tone, and see how ideas link up. So let's treat this as our game plan, where we're going to build up those mental muscles together.
Okay, skill number 1. This is the big one, the foundation for everything else. Finding the core idea. It's all about cutting through the noise and zeroing in on the main point. So, when you're looking at a paragraph, think of it like this. You're on a hunt for the one sentence that's like a giant umbrella covering everything else. Take this one, for example. It's a perfect summary. It tells you exactly who is involved, what they're arguing, and why it matters. Boom, that's the core idea.
So, how does the test check for this skill? It'll look something like this. The magic words you're looking for are best summarizes. As soon as you see that, a little alarm should go off in your head. It's your cue to find the answer that covers all the bases. And, this is key, has zero personal opinion baked into it.
And of course, they're going to give you a few options, and they're designed to look good. At first glance, a couple of them might seem right. But our mission is to find the one that's a perfect fit, not just one that's kind of sorta true.
This is where we go into detective mode. The strategy is simple. Ditch the detail and omit the opinion. What does that mean? Well, first, any answer that's just one little fact from the paragraph, get rid of it. It's too specific. Then, you look for opinions. Anything that sounds like a judgment, like calling something the most compelling, is out. You just toss those aside. What's left is going to be that pure, objective main idea you're looking for.
All right, once you've got a handle on what the author is saying out loud, it's time to level up. Skill number 2 is all about reading between the lines. It's about listening for what the author isn't saying directly. Picking up on their tone, their attitude, all through the words they choose.
Just listen to this quote for a second. How do they do it? Bumps. That's right, bumps on the head. You can almost hear the author saying it, can't you? This isn't just a boring statement of fact. There's a real vibe here. What's he really trying to say about this so-called science?
And this is a perfect example of what we're talking about. Literally, yeah, they use bumps on the head. But the way he writes it, those short, punchy sentences, the repetition, it's like he's rolling his eyes. He sounds amused, maybe a little skeptical. The test wants to know if you can hear that. Can you spot that subtle, "are you kidding me" tone?
Okay, now let's get serious. We're going to take those first 2 skills and mash them together for our third. And this one is absolutely crucial. You'll see it a lot in 2-part questions. It's all about becoming a textual detective, finding the exact quote, the hard evidence that proves a specific point. So, part 1 of your mission usually starts with a claim. The question will basically say, here's an idea. Like this one. It's asking how the crazy story of Phineas Gage was used to back up a specific scientific theory.
Then comes part 2, where you have to find the proof. And here it is, the smoking gun. See, the important thing wasn't just that Gage lived through this insane accident. The real kicker was that his personality completely flipped. He became this totally different guy. That was the piece of evidence the localizers pointed to, saying, "See, we told you. The part of his brain for being a decent person got destroyed." So, your game plan here is a simple 2-step. First, you lock on to the claim. What exactly is the question asking you to prove? Then second, you go on a hunt through the text for the one quote that backs it up. It's like a matching game. Claim and evidence. They have to fit together perfectly.
Okay, deep breath. We've been building up to this. This is the final skill, the big one, synthesis. This is where they ask you to take ideas from 2 totally separate texts and weave them together. You're not just reading, you're building a whole new understanding.
Just look at this. On one side, you've got science from the 1850s, literally feeling for bumps on someone's head to figure out their personality. On the other side, you've got a modern MRI, where we can literally watch a living brain think. Talk about a glow-up. This is a huge leap forward.
So, how do we connect these 2 worlds? Well, we have to look at the big ideas from each text. The first text talks about the localizers who thought the brain was made of little organs for things like kindness. The second text gives us the dual systems model, which is way more complex. It's about how different parts of the brain, like the emotional part and the logical impulse control part, are always in a kind of conversation.
And this is exactly the kind of question they'll throw at you. It's a synthesis puzzle. It's asking, okay, take that modern science you just read about and use it to explain what happened to Phineas Gage way back when. Can we do better than the bumps on the head theory?
And here it is, the aha moment. That metal rod smashed right through the front of his brain. Today, we know that's exactly where the prefrontal cortex lives. It's basically the brain's brake pedal. So Gage didn't suddenly become a jerk because he lost some imaginary benevolence organ. He became a jerk because the part of his brain that says, hey, maybe don't do that, got obliterated. Putting those two pieces of information together, that is synthesis.
And there you go. You now officially have a complete toolkit for taking on this assessment. Let's just do a quick recap of the awesome new tools you have at your disposal.
First, we've got finding the core idea, so you can always spot the main point. Then, reading between the lines, so you can catch the author's true meaning. Next, connecting evidence to claims, turning you into a textual detective. And finally, linking across texts, so you can build the big picture. And you know what? These aren't just test-taking tricks. This is how you become a sharper thinker, period.
Look, at the end of the day, this test is really just a workout for your brain. You now know how to decode what you read, find the hidden messages, and connect the dots in a powerful new way. So the real question isn't just about the test anymore. It's, now that you have these tools, what are you going to do with them? What are you going to discover?